Hello everyone and welcome back to World of Tanks Blitz with me, Ranks here. And today we'll be talking about the T-54 Tier 9 Russian medium tank. Now, the T-54 is by far one of the most fun tanks that, well, for me at least, it's the most fun tanks that I have ever played with. Well, that's because it's my only Tier 9, whatever. But anyway, it's a really fun tank to drive because it's very maneuverable. It has decent hull armor and or not just hull armor, but decent armor or overall. It has a very nice gun and it's just fun to drive. Now, speaking of armor, this thing has 120 millimeters at the front of the hull, 80 at the sides, and 45 at the rear. Now, this thing can easily bounce shots at the front and at the side if you angle correctly. And if you can side scrape out like that and hide the front of your hull, or maybe like this, and just bait the enemy at shooting your side, you can it can easily just shrug it off. Unless if it's high penetrating rounds or maybe high or maybe some or if they're firing high explosive. I'm looking at you, Sheridan. Or maybe if they shoot at the side weak spot that this tank has. Speaking of side weak spot, the thing that I'm talking about is, see if you can see there's a bulge at the side of the hull, right below the turret. Now, if the enemy shoots you there while you're side scraping, they can easily penetrate you there because that is just a 45 millimeter plate. Now, angled like that, that's only maybe around for 171 millimeters of effective armor. But if you're facing your hull forward, that is at maybe I think last time I checked it was around 300 if you are facing the enemy forward. But yeah, if ever you're wondering why you're getting penetrated at the side of your T-54 while side scraping, there's your answer. Now, the turret in this thing has also very nice armor. It has 200 millimeters at the front, 160 millimeters of armor at the side, and 65 at the rear. Now, the armor of this thing is really tough to penetrate because it not only has 200 millimeters uh, of effective frontal turret armor, but it's also rounded, which means that the effective armor is being boosted because of the angling that the turret is giving, like here, as you can see. But even with that, you can still get penetrated by enemy tanks if they're using gold rounds or if they are high tier or same tier tank destroyers that have really high penetrating guns. Also, excuse me. As you can see at the top of the turret, there are some weak spots in the form of the commander's cupola. Right? And if they hit you there, they can easily just penetrate the tank, and not only penetrate the tank, but they can also injure your commander. Now, now the what was it was? Anyway, I was thinking about something and then I forgot. But anyway, oh yeah, firepower. The firepower in this thing is also really nice. You get two top tier guns for this, in the form of the first one, which is this thing, the 100 millimeter D10T2C, or as I would like to call it, the Idiot 2C gun. And this gun's a very nice gun for this tank because it has 0.285 meters of dispersion, which means it can easily be a sniping tank, and you can engage the or damage or snipe at the enemy's weak spots and damage them. It also has very nice damage per minute at 2,739, and it has 6.79 seconds of reload. Reload. Now, the only bad thing about this tank or this gun is that its penetration is kind of lackluster. It only has 211 with calibrated shells. If you don't have calibrated shells, you only have 201, and that is really bad for a tier 9 tank. So if you have a T-54, you really need to run a calibrated uh, you need to be if you're using this gun. But another high point of this gun is the or both of the 100 millimeters. Both of their high points are is that they have really high penning, high explosive anti-tank ammunition or heat that 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 has an average penetration of 297 millimeters, and that's really nice. And if you don't run calibrated, it goes down to about 270, which is still good, but I'd still run calibrated because there's still some tanks that can bounce that heat pen. Also, the explosive only has 55 because it's high explosive. And the average damage on both guns are the same are at 310, which is it's okay, but it could be better because uh, most of the or all of the or all of the tier 9 mediums that this thing will face will have more damage per shot than this thing. So yeah, it kind of gets out alphaed by other nations medium tanks. So yeah. Now the damage for the or average damage for the heat is 260 and 420 for the high explosive. Now the gun turn or the gun turn limit or the gun elevation and depression angles that this thing or should I say degrees that this thing has is, well, the enemy is above you, it's kind of okay. But when the enemy is below you and you're uh, working a ridge line, it's kind of not really that good because it only gets 5 degrees of gun depression, which means that if the enemy is below your gun depression limit, you have to expose more of your tank to the enemy, which means that the enemy can easily penetrate uh, your armor if you expose yourself to their gunfire. So yeah, make sure that you are using the terrain effectively so that you cannot get penetrated by the enemy shells, or at least bounce them. Now the second gun that you can get is the 100 millimeter T-54 gun, which has better aiming time than the idiot gun, but it has worse, or should I say, it has worse gun performance than the other gun because it only gets 0.318 accuracy, which is still not pretty bad. It's still accurate. It has worse damage per minute at 102, no, not 122, at 2,617, which is still not bad. And the reload time is 7.11 seconds, which is, again, still not bad. But the good thing about this gun is it gets 230 millimeters of penetration uh, with calibrated shells. Now, without calibrated, it's around 211. Yeah, and as you can see, it has almost the same heat penetration and high explosive penetration, and also it has the same average damage per shot with the other gun. Again, still with that bad gun depression. Now about the mobility. Now the mobility of this thing is also pretty nice. It has uh, it has the engine. It has 805 horsepower in its engine, which translates to a very nice average speed of 39, and its top speed is 56, which it can easily reach it. And also, it has very good reverse speed at 20 kilometers an hour, which means you can play this thing like a Pikaboom with Pikaboom tactics, which is really nice. Also, it has really good power to weight ratio at 23 horsepower per ton. And also, it can turn really quick with 66.87 degrees uh, of hull turn. So, yeah. So, overall, this thing is a really nice tank. Also, the replays that I'm gonna show you is with are replays that I am using the both of the tank. No, not both of the tank. Using the two different types of top guns to this thing. And the first one will be let's check. First one will be the Rockfield. So here we are at Rockfield, and it's an encounter battle. And as you can see, I am using the T-54 gun, that one, which has better penetration but worse overall gun performance. But it's not really that bad. And sorry about that. I was dealing with a bit of a lag spike during this game, so there may be times where I just stopped the tank, but that's because of its lag. Anyway, I'm heading to the side of this or to this side of the map to support the T-49, but fortunately I get spotted by the M48. Oh, not that M48. I get spotted by the M4A1 Revolutuse, as you can see there, and there's the armor working, bouncing off one of its shells as he bounced his first one, but damaging my gun. Now I missed there, and he gets a very lucky shot. And remember I said that there was that, yep, there, as you can see there already. Remember I said that the side is if they aim right there at the below of the turret, it can easily just penetrate you because that's just 45 millimeters of uh, armor. And as you can see, he easily penetrates me there. So yeah, a bit unfortunate, but hey, what you gotta do. Anyway, but that guy is gonna be but that guy will be the only that will be his only shell to penetrate my tank, because now I am bouncing again, or bouncing his shells again, and I am shooting him directly. And it's really a bad call for him because that is an M4A1. It's basically just a tier 5 tank that's in tier 8 because of its gun. Now he shouldn't really be poking more than he should be right now, because I can easily penetrate his tank, and as I said that, I bounce off his mantlet. Anyway, yeah, I can easily penetrate him if he keeps on doing that. Now he is now being joined by their light tank, the M41 19 millimeter, or should I say the M41 with a 19 millimeter gun. Now I see that there's the VK trying to flank us, and I try to get a shot, and there's the accuracy of this thing. Well, it wasn't really that good at the time that I was playing this, because I didn't have the crew at 100% yet. So yeah, there are gonna be times that I'm just missing most of the shells. Anyway, I charge forward to engage and also to get away from that part of the map, because I can easily get shot by the VK. And again, as you can see, the armor just shrugs most of the enemy shells. And if you've heard that sizzle, I think it was the M41, he fired an heat round, and it just easily bounced. Now I actually got lucky there and bounced off the VK shell. Now as I take out the M4A1, I try to engage and take out the Leve, but you can see the shell just gets eaten by his track, and it gets taken out by our RSU. And the Panther takes out the M41. Now I try to engage this AMX. Now I say I try because I'm there. That's why I tried. I tried to engage him, but my team just easily wraps him up. Now I try to flank around to engage this T-34-2 and Waffenträger Panzerfia, and that tank's really dangerous because he's using 100. By the looks of it, he's using the 158 or 150. Now I hide and hide from his gun and just engage the T-34-2, which is just a tier lower below me, and he's not even trying to shoot me because he knows he can't penetrate my gun or my tank, so he's just firing at the heavy tank behind me. Now I take him out and I try to engage this Waffenträger, but fortunately my team they kinda take him out before I can even get a shot into him. Now the last remaining enemy is that VK over there. Now As you can see, the chat is really, really active. I don't know why they would call him a noob, because he from all of his, or from the entirety of the enemy team, they have never taken out a single tank except for that guy. He is the only one who has taken out two of our tanks. Now I go around to flank him and engage him at the rear so that I can easily penetrate him. You can see here. Now I get a good shot into his turret, which gives me a very nice damage roll there for 378. Now I did say that it was pretty lackluster, but you can also get lucky with the with the damaging rolls that you can get with this gun. Now with that shot, the game is won, and that was a victory. Now, if you have seen that, the the damage that I have blocked in this thing, it was at around 2,910, which is pretty nice actually, and that was just enough for a first class mastery. And yeah, that was, and I didn't even get any battle hero awards, which is kind of sad, but who cares? A victory is still a victory. But anyway, see, as you can see, I am at the top of the team when it comes to damage, and see, there's the guy that they call the noob, which is actually not the, well, okay, never mind. I was about to say that he's not that bad, but yikes. Anyway, yeah, that's the first replay, and now off to the second, and the second one will be showing this gun. And now, here we are at the Mayan Ruins map. It's still another encounter battle, and I'm still in my T-54, but this time I am using the D10T2C gun, or the Idiot 2C gun, which has better gun performance but worse penetration on its shell. And as you can see there, I said this was a really mobile tank. And you can easily see it is now at around. It was able to go to 55, almost at its max top speed. Now I head over to this side of the map and as I was expecting that the enemies would be coming around over here, but which really made me worried because I haven't seen them yet. So since they seem to be not pushing here, I go towards the bridge and try to maybe engage them. Now them here. Now my friendly tanks have spotted the two heavy tanks, but I have spotted basically almost all of the remaining tanks. Now I shoot at the SDA-1, but I switch my target to this tortoise because he is easily the most dangerous tank right now. And as you can see, with this thing's accuracy, I can easily penetrate the weak spot on the tortoise, which is its hatch over there, or its bulge. Now the enemy ISU just backs into my gun sight, and I take him out. Luckily, he was just one shot. Now again, with this thing's penetration and rate of fire, I can easily just take out this tortoise single-handedly. And there we go. Now I try to push, but I see that there's a cheeky SDA-1 trying to get a side shot at me. Luckily, I was able to pull back, and again, my gun eats the shell. I don't know why, but every time I poke out with this thing, my gun always gets hit. Anyway, I repair that so the accuracy won't be affected. Now I engage the E-75. I should have realized that he was a not low tier, stock E-75 because he only has the short barrel 105mm. Now my teammate takes him out, and I try to flank the SDA-1, but then I see that, you know what, I shouldn't do that, because if I leave the SDA-1, then this T-44 will be able to flank around and engage us. So now I switch my targets to the T-44, and now I flank around to get behind him. And as you can see, he already has a damage ammo rack and damage track. Now he is engaging the T-34 on our team, but I take him out with the next ship with that shell. Now I see that one of our heavies needs assistance in dealing with tanks over here in the form of the enemy Tiger, which I hit him, deal damage, and that AMX 5120 with it. Now I side scraped here to bait a shot at the Tiger, which works, and now he misses his shot, and you could actually see how bad the penetration of the standard shell the that that everything on the front of the Tiger was just red. So I had to switch to the premium shell. Now he bounces his shell, and my teammate takes him out. Now I engage this AMX 5120, I get the first shell in, and now all I have to do is land the second. There we go. That's the round. And as you can see, I get uh, and as you can see, that was my fourth kill, which allows me to get the hero medal Top Gun, as you can see. And unlike the first game, this was only a second class mastery. And also, I actually get the scout medal, which you can only get if you spot uh, at least or detect at least 5 of the enemy tanks. And also, you also seen in that replay that the accuracy of this gun and the rate of fire that it has, which is really scary. And I wasn't even using the adrenaline uh, uh, consumable there. So imagine if I had used that, I would have racked up more damage than this. But luckily, there was another victory, uh, top on the team, but top on the team when it comes to damage and experience, but not top on the damage when it comes to the entire game or that entire match, because that award goes to the enemy AMX 5120. You can see here, he gets the high caliber for his 4000, which is really impressive. I never, which is really impressive because I thought I would easily get that with that gun, but nope, he gets it. And as you can see, I have commended him for being a worthy opponent. Now, yeah, that was all the replays that uh, I would like to show for today. But I have another replay, but I will save that for another time because I'm gonna make because that replay is a little bit special than the ones than the two that I have shown for today. But overall, uh, this tank is very, as you have seen on that replay, is a really effective tier 9 tank. It has good uh, it has good armor. It has a very uh, effective gun, and also it's really mobile, which allows you to zip around the battlefield or adapt to the situations during a battle. Also, uh, if you think that this thing's armor you can easily just become a heavy tank and go with the heavy tanks, don't do that, because yeah, it does have good armor. Yeah, it does have good armor in its trollish turret, but this thing is still a medium tank at heart, and it should be played like that. You should play this like a uh, you could play this as a sniper during the early game, or a support tank during the early game. But during the mid to late games, where the most of the enemy tanks are going to be at low health, or if you have preserved most of your HP, then that's the point where you can play this thing as a brawling tank or like a heavy tank. You only have to be that if the situation calls for it. Okay, so there's that. Now, but yeah, you have to be really smart when you play this thing. You don't have, because there's still some uh, because there are other tanks that can easily just take this thing out easily, and yeah, it's all in all, it's a good tank. It's I highly recommend this, that you keep it for uh, even if you have unlocked the tier 10, or if you have sold it, and so that you can get more credits for the tier 10. I'd still say that you should rebuy it because it's a really fun tank. So yeah, that's the T-54 in a nutshell. So anyways, if you like this video, please like and share and subscribe to the channel. It really helps it out. Also, uh, tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments of the video on your opinion of the T-54. Is it a good tank? Is it a bad tank? But mostly it's gonna be good because come on, it's a it's it's a really nice tank. It's a really good tank. But anyway, uh, that's all for today. Anyway, I've been Rags here, and stay safe out there, everyone, and take care and peace.